So Donnie and I are here with David
Hello.
from New Jersey. So you were on the reserves. You
The reserves was like way before
way before.
towers.
Did you go in right out of school?
I went to college for one semester, then I went to boot camp in 1993. I graduated in high school in 92. I was looking for options to finance my college. Originally, my father wanted me to become a nurse in the U.S. Army.
Really?
It just wasn't for me. I just did not have the personality. I told my dad, I don't want to be a nurse, let alone become a soldier. I'm not the military type.
Yeah.
But then one day, a recruiter from the Marine Corps called me and made an appointment, and the rest is history. It's a culture shock for me.
Yeah, it was a culture shock.
I mean, I was meant to become a soldier in the U.S. Army. The bottom line was to finance my college. I went to boot camp in 93, did 2.5 years in the reserve.
What is that? What's a hardship discharge? Do you mind me asking?
My situation back then was that my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and it affected my performance.
Yeah.
She passed away in 2000, a year before.
Oh. So there you are. You're in tower number 2.
Tower number 2,
Did you know?
42nd floor.
Oh my God. So tell me what that day was like. I can't even imagine. But are you okay talking about it?
Oh, I think it's time for me to really want to talk about making
Okay.
be public about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to. I want to share the world.
Yeah.
It really helps me.
Okay. So tell
part
me
of my healing.
Yeah.
I remember that day I didn't have to start work until 9 o'clock, so I was there like around 9:15. I mean 8:15, 8:30. There was not a lot of people on the floor yet. Out of the blue, there was this impact, an explosion. I had no idea what it was, but I felt it. It was extremely loud. The impact was strong enough that your computers would just bounce off the table.
Wow.
It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen. And I thought boot camp was shocking, but that's nothing.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. I froze. I mean, everyone around me, the other cubicles, we just looked at each other. It's like, what the hell happened? I guess a few seconds went by, but it seemed like forever. I guess when you're in a state of shock, everything's like so frozen. And I said, I think we need to get the hell out of here. I mean, I was just a clerk. I was just a temp. Nobody knows me. No, I didn't know them.
All you knew was you were up pretty high. Something happened.
Something happened, something really bad. I mean, I guess this has something to do with my training in the Marine Corps. Like, if there's something bad, you trust your instincts. Like, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was on the other side of the building where that plane, on the other building, so I had no idea what. I mean, I was close to the window, but the view.
So the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know about the first building being hit.
No, I had no idea. We thought it was like some sort of bomb or an explosion. It was the most frightening thing I've ever.
So this is your building being hit, though?
No.
Oh, this is the first building.
First building, Tower 1.
Oh, you guys got the vibrations and the noise from that.
Yeah, it was that.
Shockwave.
The shockwave.
Oh.
So I was in Tower 2. The first tower to be hit by the first plane was Tower 1.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, the first plane hit Tower 1 much higher, like around the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
Or in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And then 15 minutes or...
Yeah. Later.
I think 15 minutes after that, the second plane crashed to Tower 2. We just looked at each other. Somehow, this was this collective communication. You didn't even say a word. We just looked at each other. Let's get out, you know.
Yeah.
We took the stairs. I mean, taking the elevator was...
You didn't think to take the elevator?
No, no one did.
It's amazing that when you're in that kind of shock, that you think of...
But then again, in retrospect, you would want to say, let's take the elevator. It's a lot quicker.
Yeah. But you didn't.
Oh, we didn't. No. We all did. The entire floor, the entire company. In a staircase. It was it's pretty claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I
How
mean,
many people are going down the stairs at this time? Are all the floors?
I think all the
out?
floors were. There were like people ahead of me, people behind me. It was like a well crowded. It wasn't like a stampede or anything. It was like very orderly.
Yeah.
I was on the 42nd floor. By the time I was in the 30s. That was the second explosion. It was much more powerful because it was the building itself that hit.
Oh my God.
Again, we had no idea.
Were the stairs shaking? Was it?
Yes, yes.
Like you think it's an earthquake, probably.
Yeah. It was the most horrible, frightening experience I've ever felt. People started crying, people started panicking. But I was so glad there was no stampede or anything.
Right. So you guys got out of the building safely?
At that time, it was just every man for himself. I mean, I didn't know anyone from the company. They didn't know me, but they just knew me by face because I worked for a temp agency. By the time we got to the ground level, we just dispersed. Think of it as like a whole company of people on the same floor. By the time we got to the ground floor, we were like all dispersed.
Oh.
Somehow we just got separated. Before that happened, we saw debris, body parts, dust, rubble falling down. Somehow they purposely locked all the glass doors. I guess for safety's sake, but I just didn't feel comfortable being trapped here because I knew somehow, I guess with our training, I mean, if there's like an explosion, you're taught to like get the hell out.
It's good that you had the training then, that you did go in the Marine Corps.
I suppose I guess it was meant to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I always had issues for like 17 years that I was let go, hardship discharge, and bye-bye to my Marine Corps career. And I guess it was meant to be.
Served its purpose, maybe served a purpose for you.
We saw this war zone on the plaza, and the street was like all rubble, dust, debris, furniture, a few body parts. Not a lot at that time from what I remember. I probably still do, but it's sort of like a, I guess, repressed memory. We were trapped, I don't know another word for it. I guess they didn't want anybody to go out because it was really dangerous.
Outside the building? Oh, you're still in the building at this point?
Still, yeah.
Oh,
when these things were falling.
You're in the glass part?
Just like in your complete state of shock for the next 15 minutes, you explosion, you start running down, a vibration and impact, and then you see all this war zone stuff falling, rubble, building parts, body parts, furniture, dust, rubble, concrete, and I guess at that time it was safe for the building staff to have the people secured inside, but I was freaking out. I wanted to get out. I told one of the guards, like, somebody open the doors. I want to get out of here. She just opened the door with his keys, and I was one of the first people to risk my life to go outside the falling rubble to the next street, to the next block. Because at that time I knew, like, I cannot stay here. We cannot stay here. I mean, you're surrounded with rubble and explosion. How safe do you think?
Now, when you're walking outside, is stuff falling still?
I didn't walk. I just ran.
You ran.
I guess part of my training is that you don't look back. You don't look sideways.
Just go.
Focus.
So you're going through ash right now.
Ashes, rubble, sharp objects in the ground.
And at this point, you still don't know what's happened.
No. I mean, if it's any comforting to me, having all this survivor's guilt, people who followed me are alive today. I don't know who they are, but I know they followed the Marines.
So,
Tower 1, Tower 2, and the plaza right here. Let's just say this is building number 2, building number 1. I was here. The plaza is the fountain or the garden. I can't remember where it was. It was like a block away. All the rubble was falling. I ran past the fountain to the next block, and there were like a handful of people who followed me.
So those people that were in the building, did the building come down on them? So you got out with a bunch of people following you?
They followed me.
Wow.
I mean, Marines always lead. Somehow I was like the first person. I guess people have that instinct. I mean, I wasn't trying to be a hero, so I was running for my life.
But people look for guidance. People freeze, and they just need somebody to tell them what to
And
do. How many people do you think got out?
When I was walking or running, I'm not too sure if I was running or walking or dashing out. I didn't bother looking back, but I could just feel people behind me, probably like a handful of people, maybe 10.
And so when you finally stop, are those...
I finally stopped in the next block. That's when I turned around, and that was like the biggest shock of my life. I saw the building, a big gaping hole in here, and then the building here was like fire, like somebody bit it off, like this big bite.
But at this point, you still don't know it's an airplane that hit the building.
No.
So then what happens? Now you're standing, or the fire department, everybody showing up?
There was traffic. There was a lot of commotion. There were like some press people. People were screaming. Kids were screaming. I started hearing all these stories when I started walking away from the two towers, probably the next block, 2 blocks away. I started hearing people from, it's like, oh, they're just doing a movie shoot or something. All these really ridiculous things. People trying to comfort themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, it's just special effects, you know.
Then where did you go, or what did you do? Did you stay downtown?
I wasn't too sure what to do from that point on. It was probably another 15 minutes before my building, Tower 2, collapsed. I believe when the second tower was hit by the plane, it didn't take more than 15 or half an hour before it collapsed because of the location of that. Right here, it was unstable. Tower 1 was over here.
Did you actually see the building come down?
No, I was already like 5 blocks away. I went to another building because at that time I've been doing a lot of temp jobs around that area. A few months here, a few months there, a few months there, and my first instinct was to go to my last job before I was sent to and I thought I could use the phone there, use the bathroom there. They let me in, they welcomed me in. And people were in shock, so I just went in. It's like I didn't have to have any show on the ID, but they recognized me, they remember me.
Yeah.
I also did a temp job over there. It was on Wall Street, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That was,
wow.
At that time, I was already there. I felt safe, from what I thought was safe. I was hysterical. I was telling my old co-workers back then. I just got out from there. I was like, okay, why don't you stay here, blah, blah, blah. And then in the break room, they had the TV on, you know, all the updates. And I tried calling my family to let them know I was okay. My dad in Connecticut. I called my brother from Brooklyn. I told him I was okay.
They must have been frantic.
Oh, yeah, they were. Because they knew I was working in the World Trade Center. They were trying to reach me. At that time, I didn't have a cell phone. I still remember there were like phone booths everywhere in the city. Yeah. But people were fighting over it. People, by then, I think people had cell phones already, but with the towers down, you didn't have any service.
Yeah. So now you're in this other building, and you phone your family, and they know you're okay.
I was okay, and I was just sitting there. I was just trying to recover from the harrowing escape. And then one of the people from that building, he started screaming. It's like, my God, my God, my God. One of the towers just collapsed. I was like, collapse? I just didn't know what to say.
Nobody can believe it. I remember watching it. We watched it. My husband and I were awake that morning. And when the building came down, I was like, how the hell does that happen?
I was at Camp Lejeune when it happened. We went into the PX and we looked up at the TV screen because they had the 3 TV screens at Camp Lejeune. And they had all 3 of them. They had one on Fox, one on CNN, and they had another on just a local station. And we watched it. We watched all 3 of them. We're like, hey, this is a pretty cool movie. And the PX director goes, that's not a movie. We all just got real quiet, and there was like 30 of us in the PX at the time. We paid for our purchases, went back to our bunkhouses, and we all just started packing because we knew we were going to war right then and there. 2 days later, I was here in New York City at the towers.
You were?
Yeah, my whole battalion was sent to the towers for good.
And where were you before this?
I was in Camp Lejeune,
Where's that?
North Carolina,
Oh, North Carolina.
down by Cherry Point.
Okay.
That time I was just in total shock.
National Guard, Marines, and Army was all free up here. I think they even had some Navy guys.
How long were you here?
I was here for 3 days.
Then you went back to London.
Yes, we went back to Camp Lejeune, and then a week and a half later, we were told we were getting shipped out. And because I'm infantry, we got shipped straight to Iraq. They really didn't have a name for it. They just put everybody on high alert. We knew we were going somewhere at that point. We didn't know quite where, but we knew we were going into some country.
So, right after we heard the news that both towers collapsed and the whole that whole, what do you call it, the soot?
Yeah, the
that
dust.
explosion, the dust that was going all over Manhattan that covered everybody in gray or black ash.
Yeah.
I wasn't affected by it because I didn't go out. And then I looked out the windows and people were all covered in soot, dust, debris. I mean, nobody seemed to care. I mean, you're covered in ash. Everybody was covered in ash. If you were in the street, you were covered in ash, no exceptions. And that was like the weirdest sight I've ever seen in a crowd of people covered in ash. Grayish, blackish.
Yeah, because you see some of the photos and
it was just weird. It was so bizarre. I don't know what to think of it.
right.
I mean, one odd thing after the other. I mean, how do you...
Your brain isn't even putting it together. Your brain can't even
I
absorb
can't
it.
at that time. It's
Probably-
just too much.
Probably as a Marine, you entered survival mode.
I was in survival mode. It's like...
Yeah.
But when I turned around after from the whole World Trade Plaza, I turned around and saw the bite marks, so I like to call it. The people followed me. I guess they disappeared. They went their separate ways. But I knew that people followed me, and I just wish that, in retrospect, I wish more people followed me. I mean, people were like in here, gone.
Yeah. Because that comes down, all that cement.
I guess
But you got some people out, and you should be proud that you got some people out.
Yeah, at that time I just, I guess I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
And when they see someone, like the first person, the first human being to have that rational thinking, why do you want to go out
When stuff's fine.
that war zone?
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
No.
It's just that, I guess as Marines, you gotta get away from all those.
You react.
You react.
You don't...
I mean, when drill instructors yell at you, you react.
Yeah. So then what happens? How does
I guess an hour passed by after the first, after both towers collapsed. That was the beginning of the exodus of people from Manhattan going away, going to Brooklyn, going to Jersey City, going through like all the different bridges, Queensboro Bridge, the whatever.
Weren't they filling up ferries and stuff to bring people out?
Oh, I believe so. Yeah. I mean, people just wanted to get away from the island.
Yeah.
I remember following the crowd going to Brooklyn. It was like a hump.
Were you walking at this time?
Yeah. Blisters and everything.
Yeah?
People.
How were you dressed? Were you...
Business casual, shirt, tie, slacks.
So you have dress shoes on. You don't have
Dress shoes,
comfortable walking shoes necessarily.
I mean, just imagine corporate people doing a hump.
Yeah. What do you call a hump?
Hump is what Marines call a hike.
A hike. Okay.
Hump originated, it's funny you mentioned that. Hump originated because you got your pack on.
Yeah.
And it looks like you got a hump and you're kind of bent over a little bit and you're hiking.
Hiking.
Yeah, you're like a turtle in your house.
Oh, okay.
That's how humping originally originated.
Oh, okay.
The people I was with were my old co-workers from my previous job, so I was very comfortable with them.
Yeah.
I worked with them for many years. I guess by the time we got to Brooklyn, I'm not from Brooklyn, I'm from Queens. One of my then coworkers back then, we were like in the same area in Queens, so we somehow hitched a ride. That I'm still trying to remember how I got back home. Recently, after being involved in Occupy Marine Corps. I mean, you identify yourself being a Marine and doing Marine things. At this moment, I started remembering things, and I think, I mean, I'm so glad that I'm part of Occupy Marine, because this was also a healing process for me.
What do you think Occupy Marines is to you?
To me, I'd like to think of it as a name, a powerful name.
Well, what Marines naturally mean to us is leadership, understanding, skill.
Courage, commitment, honor.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
even
that's
if you're not a Marine, you know what connotations.
That's why when Donnie got a hold of me and said, hey, how about we tour together, I was like, yes.
We're trained to be leaders, we're not trained to be followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm beginning to learn more about me being a Marine, even though I'm a prior service after I was discharged. 11 years after my escape from the Two Towers, I'm amazed at myself. I'm amazed at the Marine Corps, how much they instilled in me. I mean, if I didn't go to the Marines, I would be dead. I mean,
it's something that doesn't go away.
It never will. And I thought I forgot about the Marines after I was discharged. I was really disappointed. I went through depression and all that. I just wanted to reinvent my life. I wanted to forget about the Marines because it's just so painful. I mean, when I was discharged, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and putting two and two together, it was just too much for me.
Yeah, naturally you go through depression.
Yeah, being discharged prematurely. I mean, I was hoping I could make a career out of this. When I was
and then your father being so admiring of the fact, and then you have to face him. That can't be good either. So.
Well, in the end, he was so proud that he
Yeah.
didn't expect that I would become a Marine.
Yeah.
I mean, all he wanted for me was to become a nurse.
Yeah.
In the U.S. Army.
Is your father still alive? Yeah. He must be proud if you knew.
Very proud. Very proud.
Yeah, I would think so. So what would you like to see Occupy Marines achieve or do? What would be?
To set an example to I mean, I don't expect us to reinvent the wheel, but to take back what America needs.
Yeah.
I mean, Marines have always been the leaders, the improvisers. We adapt, we conquer. I don't see why not. As being prior service, I mean, that means a lot to me.
Unknowing or led by the unwilling to do the impossible. We've done so much with so little for so long. We're certifiably qualified to do absolutely everything with nothing.
Sounds like Occupy.
It's natural for me to say that. I was a displaced worker after that. A huge percentage of the people who work in the World Trade Center were, of course, lost their jobs. Those who survived. I was recruited by LAS around March. At that time, I had no idea what the Occupy movement was about.
What was the anniversary? What did you think?
To me, as a Marine, as a prior service Marine, it brought back memories, having a squad, having that brotherhood. It meant a lot to me. It's like full circle for me. I mean, when I told you that I was discharged, I took that to heart.
Yeah.
And then when I was in our uniform, in our camis and our boots, and these people that I only know through Facebook chatting and texting, and we finally got together.
Sweet.
And the very heart where Occupy Wall Street, was born,